Today we are going to take the chapter 11, that is ancient education system of India. Okay. Now we will see what was the educational system during the olden time. Ancient means olden time. Did you know that India has been the center of learning since ancient times? That means from the very early time itself, India is famous for education, given more importance for education. How did we come to know about this? So from what are the evidence about the ancient education that had prevailed in India? There are inscriptions on stones and copper, palm leaf records and our sculptures are evidence of the historical origin of learning in India. So in older times, the transcriptions are inscriptions written during Ashoka's time and all. Inscriptions written on where stones, then copper. Before the paper, invention of paper. Before the invention of paper, these are the evidence that shows that education had prevailed in India. Then palm leaf records. So before the invention of paper, stone inscriptions are written on stones, then pillars, then copper coins and also palm leaves. During our mother's time and all, even that astrologies are written in palm leaves. You can ask that to your grandmothers. During their mother's time also it was there understood. Today we follow an education system in which learning takes place through syllabus, curriculum, textbook and assessment. So these are the olden ancient times, and today we can have syllabus, then curricula, then textbooks and assessment. So today we are having textbooks and there we are having the syllabus, then curriculums. What are the curriculums we have to follow? So and the assessments, valuations, everything. Today all these are the modern equipments for the education, isn't it? And these are the ancient times used evidences. Have you ever thought that these are like in the past? So before the invention of paper, they were written in stones, copper coins and palm leaves. And once when the paper has been invented, all these had come into existence. Now we go for the introduction. You must have heard or read that travelers from various regions having different climates and cultures began to visit parts of India from early times. So from very early time itself, many people from all over the world had come toward India. To them, India was a land of wonder because first of all the nature beauty, then the literate people, isn't it? So literacy is more in India, and at the same time the capabilities, universities for higher education. So that all had prevailed in India. The fame of Indian culture, about the famous Indian culture, traditional culture, then about the spices have for India, then a religion, that means all kinds of religion exist in India, then philosophy, philosophers, art, architecture as well as educational practice had spread far and wide. The education system of ancient times was regarded as a source for the knowledge, traditions and practices that guided and encouraged humanity. Because Indian culture is famous all over the world. So people from all parts of the world had come to India to attain the culture of India. The culture is spread throughout. That means traditionally then in education, religion, philosophy, art, architecture and everything. Understood? Silent features of ancient education system. What are the important features? From the time of Rig Veda onwards, our ancient education system evolved over the period and focused on the holistic development of the individual by taking care of both the inner and outer self. So internally and externally, they are focusing on the education. The system focused on the moral, physical, spiritual and intellectual aspects of India. So, the system focused on intellect, morally, physically, spiritually and intellectually. It emphasized on values such as humility, truthfulness, discipline, self-reliance and respect for all creation. Students were taught to appreciate the balance between human beings and nature. That means a connection between nature and human being. The connection of each and every aspect is related to the nature. Teaching and learning followed the tenets of Vedas and Upanishads, fulfilling duties towards self, family and society, thus encompassing all aspects of life. That means not only in the family but is the extension, knowledge extension towards the society also. Education system focused both on learning and physical development. In other words, the emphasis was on healthy mind and healthy body. You can see that education in India has a heritage of being pragmatic, achievable and contemporary of life. Understood now? Now next is sources of education. What are the sources of education? The ancient system of education was the education of Vedas, Brahmanas, Upanishads and Dharma Sutras. Which are the ones? Vedas, Brahmanas, Upanishads and Dharma Sutras. You must have heard the names of Aryabhatta, the great, isn't it? Panini and Kautilya and Patanjali. Their writings and the medical treatises of Charaka and Sustra were also some of the sources of learning. Distinction was also drawn between Shastras, learned disciplines, and Kavyas, imaginative and creative literature. Sources of learning were drawn from various disciplines such as Idihas. Idihas means history. Andvisiki, that is logic, and Mimamsa, that is interpretation. Arthashastra, polity. Then Varta, agriculture, trade, commerce and animal husbandry, taking care of the animal. And Dano Vidya, that is archery, bow and arrow. Physical education too was an important curricular area and pupils participated in Krida games. Krida means games, recreational activities. Then Vyayama, that is exercise, today's yoga and all that. Dharma, Virya, that is archery, for acquiring martial skill, being good people in the martial arts. And yoga sadhana, training of mind and body among others. The gurus and the people worked consciously together to become proficient in all aspects of learning. So studying all kind of sutra, that means knowledge, learning all round knowledge. The ancient educational system in India, the way of life, how it had prevailed in India. In ancient India, both formal and informal ways of education system existed. Indigenous education was imparted at home. So first education was at the home. Olden times, the students were sent to the Gurukulam, isn't it? Where the Guru is staying. So students will go and stay along with the Guru, do all the duties for the Guru as well as in return the Guru teaches them also, isn't it? So that is called a Gurukulam. So that was the education system that had prevailed in olden times, going and settling the Guru and studying there, and a period, formal period is there, and after the period he will be sent back. So while he is at a Guru's house, he has to take care of Guru's family also, isn't it? Indian education was imparted at home in temples, parnashalas, torts, chatupadis and gurukuls. There were people in homes, villages and temples who guided young children in imbibing pious way of say. Pious means sacred. Pious means sacred. That is sacred. Right. How to live piously in sacred life. Saint is sannyasi. Temples were also the centers of learning and took interest in the promotion of knowledge of our ancient system. So lately only schools and colleges have started. Before that, gurukuls and torts and parnasalas, all that was there, where the children used to go and stay along with the gurus. Understood? And not only the system of education belongs to mentally, physically, making a healthy body and a healthy mind. Students went to viharas and universities for after getting education from there, they went out of the gurulams and for their higher education. That time they will be enrolled in the universities. Teaching was largely oral means no written examinations, and students remembered and meditated upon what was taught in the class. So through nature and through orally all the teachings was given. There was no examination, no written work, everything, isn't it? So that means by doing the duty they are studying. By looking the nature they are studying. So mentally and physically they are adapted to that. Gurukuls are also known as ashrams. First we have said students go and stay with their teacher, where the residential place of learning. So a period is given and the child will be student, all will be gathered over there, and Guru will be teaching them through the principles, isn't it? Many of these were named after the saint. That means saints. Sages means saint, sannyasi. Saint or sannyasi. Situated in the forest, they will be inside the forest, in serene and peaceful surroundings. That means far away from the population, isn't it? That means they should have a silent future. Hundreds of students used to learn together in gurukuls. Women too had access to education during the early Vedic period. Among the prominent women Vedic scholars, we find reference to Madhyari, Vishwambara, Apala, Gargi and Lopamudra, to name a few. So even not only the boys were given education, even the girls, women also were given education. These are the learned women of those days, ancient days. During that period, the gurus and their shishyans means the students, lived together, helping each other in day-to-day work. That means the students who are staying with the Guru has to do all the affairs what the Guru's family needed. He has to work for them, and then only he will get the learning. The main objective was to have complete learning, leading a disciplined life and realizing one's inner potential. How much talented he is. Students lived away from their home for years together till they achieved their goals. Like Robert said, they will not, his parents will not come and see what kind of learning he is getting. All kind of learning they know that all externally and internally he will be built up. The Gurukuls were also the place where the relationship of the Guru and the Shishya strengthened with the time. There is a bond between the Guru and the Shishya. While pursuing education in different disciplines like history, art of debate, law, medicine, etc., the emphasis was not only on the outer dimension of the discipline but also on enriching the inner dimension of person, that is mentally and physically he is being educated. Many monasteries means vilahas, were set up for monks and nuns to meditate for the sannyasis. Debate and discussions with the learned for their quest for knowledge. Quest means a thirst to acquire knowledge during this period. Around these viharas, other educational centers of higher learning developed, which attracted students from China, Korea, Tibet, Burma, Ceylon, Java, Nepal and other distant countries. So in India, we are talking about the education in India. Is seeing all these aspects of how much it is being given for the education. Students from all over the other part of India started coming to India. Viharas and universities. The Daga states accounts given by Xianxing and Ai-Queens, that is the Chinese scholars who had came to India to learn about the Indian culture and their education. As well as other sources tell us that kings and society took active interest in promoting education. Missionaries were sent all over the world. As a result, many famous education centers came into existence. Among the most notable universities that evolved during the period were situated at Takshashila, Nalanda, Vallabhai, Vikramashila, Vadanapuri and Jagadala. These are even Nalanda University, then Takshashila are famous in our history. These universities developed in connection with the Viharas. Those are Benares, Navadvip and Kanchi. Developed in connection with temples and became centers of community life in the place where they were situated. These institutions catered to the needs of advanced level students. Such students joined the centers of Gureen Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore and all that. These universities, Takshashila, Nalanda University, everything was in prevailing, understood. Centers of higher education, higher learning and develop their knowledge by mutual discussions, understanding each other, mutual, that means face to face, and debates were renowned scholars. Not only this debate, arguing opponents, yes, there was also occasional summoning by a king to the gathering in which the scholars of the country of various viharas and universities would meet, exchange their views. Even the scholars from other universities used to visit here and used to convey their learning, the art of learning, their knowledge, and thus used to spread the knowledge throughout the India. Not only this, there was also a occasional summoning of the in-between who also used to come, king also used to come. In this section, we will give you glimpses of two universities of the ancient period. These universities were considered among the best centers of learning in the world. These have been recently declared heritage sites of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. Even today, we are known about the UNESCO. That is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. Then Takshashila or Takshila. In ancient times, Takshashila was a noted center of learning, including religious teachings of Buddhism. For several centuries, more than 100 years, Takshashila has been the religious center of learning of religion of Buddhism. It continued to attract students from around the world until the destruction of the 5th century BC. It is known for its higher education, and the curriculum comprised the study of ancient scriptures, law, medicine, astrology, military science, and painting, stupas and art, shilpas and art. Takshashila became famous as a place of learning due to its teachers' expertise. That means expert teachers, experienced teachers. Among its noted pupils were the legendary Indian grammarian Panini, the great Panini, in Takshashila University. It was an expert in language published one of the greatest works on grammar called Ashtadhikaya. Jivika, one of the most renowned physicians in ancient India, and Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, is skilled exponent of statecraft, both studied here. Chanakya. Students came to Takshashila from Kashi, Kosala, Magadha, and also from other countries in spite of the long and arduous journey they had to undertake. That was a long distance to reach India in this Takshashila University, isn't it? From Korea, Magadha, Kashi and all, students used to come even though they have to come a long distance. Transporting is not easy as today on up to those days. Still, the students started to come to Takshashila because all experts of a different field was there. Takshashila was an ancient, this is Takshashila, yes, remains of the university. Ancient Indian culture city which is now in northwestern Pakistan. Now it is the part of Pakistan. It is an important archaeological site and the UNESCO declared it to be the World Heritage Site in 1890 because the remains of Takshashila are still there. Its fame rested on the university where Chanakya used to have composed in the Arthashastra. Archaeologist Alexander Cunningham discovered its ruins in the mid-19th century. Now only the remains of that university is there. Understood? Then role of the teacher. What is the role of the teacher? Teachers have complete and autonomy in all aspects from selection of students to designing their syllabus, starting till the end how much he had gained. When the teacher was satisfied with the performance of the students, the course concluded. The teacher has to get a satisfaction from how much the student had achieved from teacher, isn't it? Or how much the teacher had given to the student and what all things he had achieved. He would admit as many students as he liked and taught what his students had learned to, the keen interest to learn. Debate and discussions were the primary method of teaching. So today we are conducting exams. Instead of that, in olden times to know how much knowledge the student had acquired, what is the system used, discussion and debate. Teachers were assisted by their advanced level students. So by debating and assessing or by conducting discussion, group discussion, we can acquire how much knowledge the student had achieved from the teacher. Nalanda University, another famous university. Nalanda, when Singh visited it, was called Nala and was a center of higher learning in various subjects. The university attracted scholars from the different parts of the country as well as world. From all over the world, students have come to this Nalanda University. The Chinese scholars Haikun and Xian Yusan visited Nalanda in the 7th century BC. They had been vivid accounts of Nalanda. From those accounts only, we are coming to know what are the which are the universities and what Nalanda University is famous. Understood? Because those who had visited, they had recorded it. They have noted that as many as 100 discourses happened on a daily basis in a variety of disciplines through the methods of debate and discussion. Mainly these are the two things that had been proceeded for the education, spreading of the education, that is debate and discussion. Shyam Singh himself became a student of Nalanda to study Yoga Shastra. He has mentioned that the Chancellor of Nalanda, Shilabhadra, was the highest living authority in yoga. The course of study. So yoga is not a new thing. From those years onwards, it is still passing generation after generation. Even today also, we are following it, isn't it? So you can understand how much importance yoga had. Entire circle of knowledge then available. Students at Nalanda studied the Vedas, all the 4 Vedas, and we are also trained in fine arts, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, politics, and art of warfare. The ancient Nalanda was a center of learning from the 5th century CE to the 12th century. Located in present-day Rajgarh, Bihar, India, Nalanda was one of the oldest universities of the world, and UNESCO declared the ruins of Nalanda Mahavira a World Heritage Site. The new Nalanda University is envisaged as a center of Indian civilization dialogue. So, Takshashila and Nalanda are the famous two universities mentioned. Though there are many, these are the two famous mentioned to the ancient heritage university. Then role of the community means the society. At that time, knowledge was considered sacred and no fee was had. So that time, no fees for education, and it is considered to be a sacred thing to pass education from one to the other. Contributions towards education were considered to be the highest form of donation, as members of the society contributed in some form or the other. Financial support came from rich merchants, wealthy parents and the society. So financially, if needed, merchants and the wealthy people used to donate for the institution because no fees is being collected. Besides gifts of building, a university received gifts of land for establishing a university. These rich people used to give land for them or construct a building for them. This form of free education was also prevalent in other ancient universities like Vallabhai, Vikramashila and Jagadala. At the same time, in the south of India, now coming towards the south, Agraharas, that is so called Agraharas, places of Brahmins, served as centers of learning and teaching. Some Indian kingdoms also had other cultural institutions such as Gatika and Brahmapuri. A Gatika was a center of learning including religion and a small big size, and Agrahara was a bigger institution, a whole settlement of learned Brahmins with its own power of government, and was maintained by generous donation from the society. Temples, mathas, Jain basaris and Buddhist viharas also existed as other sources of learning during this period. Continuation of Indian education system. The Indian education system continued in the form of ashrams in temples and religious schools. Ashrams, building ashram and giving education for the students. During the medieval period, during the Middle Age, Makaratavas and madrasas Muslims became part of education. Even madrasa, even now today also they are a part of education system. During the pre-colonial period, the indigenous education flourished in India. This was an extension of the former system that has taken roots earlier. The system was mostly a religious and spiritual form of education. The system holds in Bengal, Pathshalas in Western India, Chatupalas in Bihar, and similar schools existed in other parts of India. Local resources by domination supported education. References in text and memories inform that villages also support education in southern India. As we understand, the ancient education system of India focused on the holistic development of the students, both inner and outer self. This preparing them for like making them how to lead a life. Without education, leading a life is difficult, isn't it? Education was free and not centralized. Its foundation was laid in the rich cultural traditions of India, thereby helping in the development of the physical, intellectual, spiritual and artistic aspect of personality. Our present-day education system has a lot to learn from the ancient education system of India. So it is saying that how the education system prevailed in olden times. From that we have to extract many things for making the modernization of our modern education. Therefore, the stress is being laid on connecting learning to the world outside the school. Today, education is recognized the role and importance of multilingual and multicultural education, thereby connecting the ancient and the traditional knowledge with the contemporary learning. So, So far different. Ancient education was far different from the modern education. Modern education, in the ancient education there was no free, but education was given, isn't it? Without any fee, education was given, and it was having a high value both mentally and physically, making the person fit enough, both wealthy mind and healthy body, isn't it? So today it is far different from that ancient education. So today's education, it is only looking for the career, for the future, what they can do in their life, isn't it? But in olden times, they had studied everything, all the aspects together to make their life comfortable. Understood now? So now we are coming to the end of that lesson. Now, end of that supplementary. But now we will go back to the lessons where we had not taken, that is 1 to 4. We will try to complete now. Okay, understood all of you?